Isn't it interesting how a rectangular piece of regular wood can be turned into a powerful board that can contact spirits? Even more impressive is the fact that contacting souls can become a big industry over the span of around 129 years. It all started with the American Civil War, where hundreds and thousands of people wandered desperately to seek answers for their unanswered questions concerning over their missing friends and family. Most of these people resorted to the Ouija board, a product of the spiritualist movement in the United States, which prevailed by the end of the Civil War. Spiritualism was in fact started by two sisters named Margaret and Kate Fox. Allegedly, around 1848, they contacted a spirit of a deceased merchant. However, this was not much talked about until the Civil War. But more than spirituality, the Ouija board has more to do with capitalism. William Fuld, an entrepreneur, saw a golden business opportunity when he first encountered the talking board. Soon after, in 1891, the Ouija board was first advertised. Today, the Ouija board is widely available and has infiltrated the pop culture. Along with several theories about the origin of the name Ouija, the working and functionality of the board has also been in debate. Does it actually contact spirits, or is it something that lies within our own subconscious? To actually know if it's true or not, we got the board ourselves. But before that,
We always say this is a world of the unknown. You have no idea what you are getting into. So before you think or decide about playing with a Ouija board, just make sure you know how to deal if there is a spirit that is coming in. You know how to close down the ritual if you want to. And third, you know how to handle the post or the aftermath of the session. Because, like I said, many of the times you don't need a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard to communicate with the dead, but in case a spirit comes down, you can't see it, you can't feel it, and you have no idea that the spirit you are calling in is a good one or a bad one. And that is when the attachment happens, the possession happens, and many other things, the consequences to this thing. So it is not because of the Ouija board, but the not how do I say, not having the proper knowledge and still diving into this world is what going to harm people, not the Ouija board.
I've always heard about spirits ever since I was a child. I don't know, it's something which actually run in the family. My grandmother, ever since I was a small child, told me the spirits and how they have always been an essential part of a family.
So it all begins. My cousin brings a Ouija board to our ancestral home. I told my brother that I'm gonna do this. Mom dad के room में. I invited मेरे एक friend को so that let's see if my brother does not fool around with me again.
Well, when I was in the 11th standard, I don't know, somehow I wanted to try it. That's the only thing I wanted to do.
We were playing the Ouija board and we were supposed to go to a temple the next day. It was quite far, 400 kilometers away. And before when we were playing, the spirit that contacted us told us not to go tomorrow by a bus. The first question we asked was, is there anyone who would like to contact to us? There was nothing. Again we tried, it moved, as what I like जो मैंने बोला, it moved. It went slowly towards yes, but then as it came towards the alphabet B, we stopped. We freaked out because obviously मेरे घर पे बहुत पूजा होता है, but then too we have a demon or a spirit in our house, so we were scared. So we immediately हम लोग panic हो गए and हम लोग ने इसको बंद किया. Initially we had planned not to go by a car but to go by a bus, and we pitched this idea to our uncle. Uncle just ridiculed it. He just ridiculed the whole idea of Ouija. He ridiculed the whole idea of ghosts. But we had a sense of fear inside us because first thing, we contacted the spirits, and it was way long. I was young, so you have this sense that something's gonna happen, and I was there.
There was a lot of negative energy when we did it because according to the Ouija board, it was a 3-year-old child and she died from, I think so, an accident. So it was very even though there wasn't any energy, it just felt very disturbing.
थोड़ा time बाद things started to happen in my house.
There were small fights which led to bigger fights. Me and my brother fighting, my mom and dad arguing, somewhat small argument, and I still feel some kind of negative vibe or some chills basically.
So next day when we were traveling, it was pretty routine halfway through, and so my uncle and my aunt were in the same seat, and there was a metal rod right in front of them, and the driver slams the brake as another scooter just came across, and they both met with an accident, and my aunt's nose was broken because she hit her nose on the rod. So it directly affected our uncle. He was pretty pissed off.
This is a huge example, and it's not very good for me to talk about it. But my grandmother, it's been a year, like एक महीने बाद it's gonna be a year. She's almost paralyzed, and when this happened, for 3 years back, in the same month, I did this. So that also scares me.
But we can't just believe anything that comes our way. We actually wanted to try it ourselves. We used a coin as a planchette, and 6 of us decided to play.
3 times.
Is there any spirit around us? Okay. Is there anybody around us?
For the first time, nothing seemed to happen as the coin, our planchette, didn't move at all. So we ended the session and began another one.
Is there anybody around us who would like to talk to us?
विदिशा जान के नहीं करना.
Okay. Okay.
Even though the planchette moved, most of the answers were in gibberish.
In very simple terms, if I try to explain, is that people, those who are using the board, they are causing the movement unconsciously on their own. So it is a phenomena basically where your suggestions or your expectations cause the muscles to move without the knowledge of the person. So they are moving it, but they are not aware that they are moving it.
During our last session, we asked the spirit another set of questions, and yet we did not get any clear answers. It is very hard to determine the truth, whether it is a spirit moving the planchette or is it just our minds making the magic a reality. Yet remains the fundamental question: who really are these spirits? Where do they come from? And why?
So ghost is a person without gross body but with mind, intelligence and policy. So now I am a ghost, I have a mind, and mind means I have desires. I may want to eat an ice cream, but I don't have a hand to pick up ice cream. I don't have a tongue and teeth to chew and taste an ice cream, but my desire is there. So what do I do? So when the desire is intense and the person is very disturbed, I want to eat ice cream for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then I may try to find out a weak body. I will enter in that person's body and use his hand and tongue and teeth to eat an ice cream and then quit that body. So such a spirit or ghost who attacks another's body to fulfill its own desire is called evil, in the sense that when you go to another's body, you disturb that person. So this may be because of a small desire like eating ice cream, or it may be a big desire of taking revenge of somebody. So you go to another body and try to cause an accident or something like that.
The journey to find out the truth about the ever mysterious Ouija board made us inspect all the various theories and beliefs, be it the scientific approach of the ideomotor effect or the popular belief of it being the talking board used to communicate with the spirits, or it just being a money-making idea. All sides have been presented to you. So now, what do you think? Is it just your mind playing tricks on you, or something much more supernatural?